Welcome back. WeArEuS and this notification came out of nowhere. I don't know what happened or what changed, but when the game first launched, it also had this mention of a control scheme setup, which is weird because this is not the first time I've actually launched the game. So, yeah, that's something. Anyway, last episode, I died to something stupid. My own bad judgment. As usual, anyway. Just like with the Hammerwatch 2 playthrough. Just like with the videos for that game. If I don't die to something stupid, I just don't die. And while that's certainly amusing in itself, it's also very, very annoying. Regardless, I restarted with the Boduka? Should be Bodukan, I don't remember. And I made progress back to somewhat back to where we left off, well, where we were when we died. The money situation, well, let's take things in order, shall we? So, this is where we are in terms of equipment. We've got a split mail of loyalty and treasures, which, oh goodness, which I swapped to from this one, the Lucky Splint Mail, because this has plus 5% magic item chance. While not particularly significant, that 5% will help better stuff drop. While I would appreciate the extra gold from monsters, it was just the one thing, so maybe I won't even notice, right? Secondly, we have the Hood of Muscle, which used to be the Hood of Agility, which is pretty good, as you can see, plus 10 Swiftness. Now, Swiftness isn't particularly relevant for this class, but I mean, it's still pretty good, right? But then the Hood of Muscle drops, and when I came into the inventory and saw it, I knew it had to be equipped. And thankfully, the Hood of Agility offered us a stat that wasn't particularly important, so we could equip this and get the plus 10 strength with the meager plus 2 to core stats. And I'm assuming core stats are the bonuses that this class gets. Let's see. I don't remember remember where it is that I could see that at. I'm pretty sure it's strength, discipline, and spirit. Because I know this class does have 2 abilities that scale with spirit. I remember what one of them is. And the other I'm not as clear on. Back to the equipment though. We also have the running shoes of cleverness, which is plus 10 guile, which is one of the better stats, for sure. Anyway, I got lost in thought about the stats. So, as I said a moment ago, this class mostly prefers strength, which in itself is fine because strength has all of the more important stats like your physical damage and health, I'm assuming, as well as defense. It's at 72 because of the headgear. I haven't put that many points into it actually. I think I leveled it twice intentionally, once accidentally, and for the most part I've been putting points into guile because, you know, when you don't have a large amount of high guile stat, you really start to realize just how much weight that was pulling. And I'm talking about with the loss of the brigand class. Because we died like an idiot. I'm going to keep trying to put points into guile, but I wouldn't mind getting more strength. Spirit as well, since we have stuff that scales with that, as I said. Now, this class is mainly one, it prefers using fists. And unfortunately, we had something, it's kind of odd, because the brigand that we were using, a little bit before she died, we picked up hand wraps, which ironically actually reduced the damage that the punch would do with your bare hand by 10, I believe it was. I think the brigand had a base 110 weapon power with the unarmed fist. Still, I wouldn't mind seeing it again, but I mean, as things have gone, just 2 fists in the enemy's face is perfectly acceptable. Do we have anything? Oh, right, yeah. So, as you can see, we've got a lot of items that aren't just, what is the rarity? Common. Oh, we also have, oh, okay, so, before I go on, I beat the boss. Remember last episode we stopped right before we entered the boss area, or the level the boss was on. Technically, the boss would be after the level that would have followed, but just kind of beside the point. And that was the area where there were food items just sitting out in front of some stairs to the next floor. Just in case picking those up would have somehow enraged the boss and made the fight harder, I figured I would just leave them and hope I could go back later on and pick them up. Which is exactly what I did once I killed everyone. And oh right. Okay, so I'm a little excited now. I just realized I can swap to the wild child rather than having to wait until I die. We might do that. Because I would not mind having those extra... I don't know if you even keep the skills that you learn from the other class. I'm pretty sure you can, but I have not put that to the test yet. Moving on, trying to focus back on the items that we have in our inventory so we can move on to the skills and then actually playing the game. We have extra stuff like the hide armor of foraging, which increases power up drop rate. It's also pretty good because it's got the slightly higher dodge rate. And I think the physical resistance is the exact same. This one I got from finishing a quest. I did all of the quests I could up until one of the most recent ones, which required that I didn't take more than like 500 damage. I learned that the damage you take until you finish that quest or that rumor, all of it counts towards that 500 health total. No matter where it comes from, even if you're taking damage from things that aren't on the floor where the rumor is located or wants you to be on. Very unfortunately for me, that particular quest ended up sending me to, I think it was floor 5. And floor 5 was just a mess. Because I hadn't been there before, I had no idea where anything would be. The map was unexplored, so I couldn't actually see where any alphas had spawned. Because I was supposed to fight... I think it was a bug? Doesn't really matter. I was supposed to fight an alpha and take them out, I think, using physical damage, which is, sort of what fists do. And unfortunately, I ran into another alpha who not only had minions, but also had shadow clones. Thankfully, the Baduka has a skill where you can hit multiple targets at once, so long as they're all positioned properly. And so I use that. Because I can't have an enemy with multiple sources of damage to output onto me. I have to cut those numbers down. And so that's what I tried to do. Unfortunately, I still took a lot of damage from the guy, which sucked. But the chemist's sturdy boots, are from the minions of the boss I beat to get where we currently are. The chemists would throw... Remember how the smoke bomb worked for the brigand? The chemists would do something like that, but I think it was like poison damage or something. So it would basically create a slowly expanding cloud of poison or something. It didn't afflict me with poison, but I'm assuming it was some sort of damage like that, because while standing in it, we would take damage. So, as a result, these increase your consumable damage. And we have plenty of those. Well, I say plenty, but so when you actually start the boss fight, like when it actually begins and you go towards the boss, you find yourself in the doorway. And the boss starts talking again. Mainly to his minions, talking about, man, it would sure be unfortunate if this girl dropped a trap in the doorway, which we would all have to squeeze through in order to get to her. And then the minions would go, you realize she can hear you, right? So yeah, I decided, wow, that's actually a pretty good idea. I didn't have anything that could take advantage of that, though. See, the brigand would have, if I were still using the brigand, I could have spent some job points to buy these sleeping traps, and then I could cut down on what the number of enemies I'd have to deal with at a time. Unfortunately, that dream is currently dead. Maybe we can swap to the brigand sometime later and learn some stuff from that. Maybe. Anyway, back to equipment. Oh, I also found some spectacles. It was mainly these I was using originally. And, I mean, it gives, pretty good stats. +5 guile and swiftness. Nothing to hate about that. And then sometime later, I found these. Not really useful, so they need to go in storage until I have a summoner class. Which would be interesting, for sure. But moving on from that, we have the Greedy Hide Armor, which increases the gold you get from monsters by 15%. Now, I don't know what the difference is in... No, you can only wear one armor, because I thought it would work like this. Like the accessories, and you could basically just stack both of them. Anyway, I wonder what the difference is between the more gold from monsters unique pass or effect on this and the just 15% more gold from monsters. I'm guessing it's almost guaranteed that this effect and the other one are completely separate, because the other one says unique, which means it won't stack with itself under any circumstance, but it will stack with something that shares its general effect, like the 15% more gold. I just wish the other one had more information as to how much it would increase the gold the enemies dropped. Oh yeah, we also have a quiver. I don't really have a use for this because we don't... I mean, sure, maybe, but for the most part, one, I don't have a bow, and two, I don't have any use for one, really. The sling itself, the sling that we have equipped is fine. Not preferable, but it's fine. We also have a whip, but it's got a chance to deal some extra damage, which is interesting. It's basically like a weak crit, I guess. I did try using a shield, but then kind of gets in the way of the passive for this class, where I don't remember where you see the skills, the passives for the class. I know you can. I don't remember where. Anyway, which of these was I looking at? We were right talking about the shield, but because of the tier 1 passive, it has to be in skills. I'm still trying to figure out where I can show you the passive at, because we currently have the tier 2 active. But I can't activate the tier 3 until we unlock, or until we buy all of the job's skills. And I really wish I could remember where the frick that information is at. But anyway, the first passive is that you deal more damage when you just use your fists. Pretty simple, but, you know, it's a good one. Then I got, a hand axe of corrosion. I don't think I bought this. I might have bought this. Mostly because, having elemental damage is, well, it's not particularly useful against alphas, but as long as it's not an alpha, it's pretty valuable, right? So more stuff that needs to end up in storage, but I don't really have money to expand it right now. A hood of focus, which increases discipline, which is a decent stat for this particular job, but right now I'm focused on guile. Then we have the Hungry Incombustible Necklace of Toxicity, which is certainly something. It is a whole lot of name, I can tell you that. For the most part, I've had no use for this whatsoever, never equipped it. It's storage bait, for sure. Running shoes of focus, increased discipline, short sword of familiars and toxicity. Another one that provides you with a chance to drop an acid pool on move, just like the necklace here. And I'm assuming the percentage stacks, even though it doesn't say +6, so could be wrong. And then that's about it for the equipment. Now we move on to the interesting part, which is the skills. Getting these was a pain in the butt. And I've still got 3 more to get. I know there's the key, the one that shoots the key wave. Or chi wave, my mistake. So, the very first one that we picked up was from the job masteries. No, from the weapon masteries back at camp. And it's the flying kick, which is actually really good, except for the fact that it has a 12-turn cooldown. That is basically the worst part of it. Other than that, it's great because it puts you through enemies and then knocks any of them that could be where you land away. And the Budoka loves using abilities on enemies once you apply other effects to them. But before we get to those effects, Well, no, we should actually go to that because those, before I actually bought any other skills, I bought these support abilities. Starting with Pain. Vital Point Pain was the first passive that I picked up because each time you attack, you may mark the Ryugen Vital Point, causing enemies to take more damage. Basically, it inflicts defense down on them. And then, if you use a skill specific to this job on an enemy suffering from this stat or this debuff, it causes confusion, I guess. Right now, enemies die pretty quickly. I leveled up so much, as you can see, we're level 7. I leveled up so much that it's to the point where certain enemies will actually run from us. I'm guessing because their levels are too low. And as a result, I literally had to pick up I had to open a Pandora's chest because the enemies were too weak. And I'm hoping that would actually increase their level and not just make them stronger, which would be AIDS. Anyway, the debuff causes marked enemies to take 15% more damage, and you have a 15% chance to inflict the debuff on enemies. Then there's Vital Points. Yeah, Vital Point Explode was the second one I picked up. Each time you attack, you may mark the Hyakai Vital Point, causing enemies to explode on death. And they really do explode on death. The issue is that it doesn't seem to work most of the time, or it only works when the enemy has another enemy near them. I mean, it's entirely possible that it just haven't marked enemies with it. Because I'm not entirely sure that you can apply all of these to an enemy at once. I think it's a case where you can only apply one status effect to an enemy. And anything else, it's either ignored or it'll overwrite whatever's currently on them. Not sure. Nothing really lasts long enough, and there's only a 15% chance to mark enemies with these. That's not particularly great, so yeah. Also, I did the gear girl back at camp was selling a guitar that was a claw. I mean, guitars are classified as claws, but this one was an actual claw-like guitar. And I figured, one, I'm pretty sure it was gold. I think it cost about 120 gold as well. It was a magical rarity. That's what I mean by gold. And I think it cost about 120 gold, which was cheap because there was another gold or magical rarity weapon in there that cost more. And at the time, I was flush with gold, so why not, right? Even if I wasn't, I still would have picked them up. They're currently sitting in storage because I have no use for them. At least not yet. Once we swap to another job, we'll have to change what weapon we use. Also, these still apply even if you're using a weapon. I wonder if you can turn these... Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see, I can see something start to come together with being able to turn off support abilities. Also, I do appreciate that the weapon mastery passive is active but doesn't actually count against your support ability max or support ability limit. That's delicious. Anyway, speaking of the weapon mastery passive, we have Assassin Fists. While unarmed, critical damage is increased by 40%, and critical hit damage with skills is increased by 10%. No, that's not what it means. But I don't know how it's applied. So it could be one of two things for critical hit damage with skills. It's either plus 10% to the already increased 40%, making it a 50% multiplier for your crit damage, or it'll be a plus 10 multiplier to your critical hit damage specifically, in addition to the increased 40%. So it remains the base critical hit damage is still the increased 40%, but then receives an additional multiplier for the final damage, which would actually be pretty good. I don't know how that works. And it doesn't really matter, to be perfectly honest. As long as it crits, you're benefiting. And then we have the final vital point that I picked out. Vital point bleed. Oh, right, I forgot to mention. When you use a Anyway, when you use a Budoka technique on enemies with the vital point explode debuff, you root them in place. And this job has a ability that pushes enemies away, but it doesn't really have is the Chi Blast? I don't remember which one the Chi Blast is. That might be the... Oh, Palm Thrust is the one that pushes enemies away. So the Chi Blast is the ranged attack. Okay. Good. Got it. So, use the skill. You can use Palm Thrust to push them away. And then Chi Blast to get a free hit on them while they're rooted for who knows how long. I mean, if they're still close enough, you can actually just keep using a ranged weapon on them until they get closer. Also, that's bleed. The explosion deals 150% of your weapon damage, and our weapon damage with our fists is currently 330. And again, we return to Vital Point Bleed. This one causes enemies to bleed because you touched their Shinkeshu. Using this job's techniques on enemies with this particular status, not the bleed, but the Vital Point Bleed status, causes the bleed to worsen and spread to other enemies. Now, when you're picking this from among the other learnable abilities, you don't actually... Maybe it did? Because I don't remember... Yeah, I didn't recall seeing this down here, so maybe it always was. Anyway. But here we can see the bleed is 30% of the weapon's power as physical damage per turn. But it doesn't say how the bleed is affected when you hit them with a technique. It also, none of the others really mentions the effects from hitting the enemy with a technique, a Doka technique anyway, while these are active. I wish that information was available, because it doesn't really matter. These are all too inconsistent to really rely on. So, moving on, we have the active abilities, starting with Iron Breathing. This was the first one I picked up because it's just super good. Now, this is one of those that scales with spirit power, but we'll get to that in a moment. It has it costs 15 energy and has an 8-turn cooldown. This is an ancient technique that expels all poison, closes bleeding wounds, and heals self if any statuses were removed. And it's pretty good. I think it heals for 96. It heals for 100% of spirit power plus level times 5. We don't have a lot of spirit right now. I will work on that in the future so we can continue to get value out of this ability. But for now, 96 is all it does for us, and that's only if it removes poison or bleeding. It does not work on paralysis, by the way. I've learned this the hard way. But turning off bleeding is always good. That's damage you don't have to worry about healing up. Then there's 100 Fists, which is... it does exactly what you imagine it would do. But it has an 8-turn cooldown after you use it. This will attack enemies in all enemies in a 3-cell spread in front of you. And it deals 140% of your weapon power. I don't remember how... it's not really easy to see how many hits it does. I would assume like 3, maybe? It hits hard. I know that much. Like it genuinely decimates. But I don't remember. I know it does multiple hits, or at least it looks like it does. Maybe it's just multiple hits that then do show one sum of damage. I don't know. Then we have Palm Thrust. 7-turn cooldown with a 15 stamina cost. But you can't use these while you have a weapon in hand. 100 Fists and Palm Thrusts, and I'm assuming the rest that deal actual damage can't be used with any other weapon, which kind of sucks. Anyway, this creates a wave of force that sends your enemies flying and stuns them for 1 turn. It also deals damage to them if they hit something. I'm assuming this would be extremely valuable against a large number of enemies that are just clustered together, because the enemies you hit get pushed into the ones behind them, and I'm assuming that will count and deal damage to the one you hit. Not the one that got hit by the other enemy, but the one you actually targeted. I mean, I've used it a number of times, but I don't think I've actually used it in a way that would allow me to deal damage through its use. Maybe I did during the boss fight. That happened after I recorded the last episode, and that was yesterday. I don't remember, so I can't help you. Then we have Tornado Stance, which I just picked up a little while ago, a little while before this. Haven't used it. It says you enter a stance where when attacked, you will instinctively kick enemies away and then damage them. Again, I haven't used this, so I don't know how it works. There's no way it can have a 14-turn cooldown and not have multiple activations. There's no way it'll only activate once. There's just no way it'll work like that. Since I've already looked at the other abilities, we can go ahead and cover those as well. Here we have Chi Wave, which I wanted to get, but crowd control seems like the better choice, and so I got that instead. Basically, you can attack an enemy at a distance by firing a spiritual... I don't know if it's a wave of spiritual energy. How about that? By the way, it deals 180% of your weapon power, and then 90% of that... No, and then it also deals 90% of your spirit power as lightning damage. So I'm guessing that deals 2 separate hits, both of which can crit. I probably didn't get this because we don't have a lot of spirit power, and relying on this for any sort of damage doesn't really make sense. Then we have 2-finger catch. I was considering some innuendo there for a moment. Couldn't make anything work. Or, one could say, I couldn't make it fit. So, with 2-finger catch, you have a just flat 25% chance to catch a projectile and throw it back. Perfectly serviceable. Then there's Steel Resolve, which is interesting, because with this, you cannot be stunned or critically hit. Taking crits off the board for the enemy is massive. Even I can see that. Currently, enemies don't do a whole lot of damage, but they can crit, which can do a whole lot of damage. Taking that out of the equation makes things a lot easier to deal with. Also, taking stun out of the equation. Oh, by the way, there are the passives. I literally came in here looking, didn't bother looking over here, and then left again when I was looking for them earlier. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, Steel Resolve is good. I just don't have it because it costs 600 job points, and we're a little bit broke in that area. Moving on to the passives, we have the tier 1, which, like I said, when you're attacking with both fists, you deal extra damage. Also, you gain bonus strength, swiftness, and discipline. So those are the 3 that this wants, which is weird because discipline... Oh yeah, that is spirit power. Okay, so our spirit power is 64. And we're gaining an extra 43% from spirit and 31% from discipline. Spirit is worth so much more in that regard. But I can see why they would want you to go for discipline. The elemental resist and buff duration are pretty good. And by that I mean important. Then we have the tier 2 passive, which as I said required, well, I probably didn't say it. This requires you, getting this passive activated requires you to spend 1,000 job points. It transforms your offhand punch into a more powerful kick. You want to know something retarded though? For some really, really weird reason, as you can see here, your kick has reduced accuracy. And I don't know if that's because you're technically... We can actually test that. No. First off, without the other hand being free, you don't... Do you? I wonder. Would it be possible that... Okay, so... Now think. The tier 2 passive gives you a kick that replaces your offhand attack. Does that mean... I know it doesn't. But wouldn't it be cool if that meant that you could equip a shield, for example, and you could still get the two separate attacks, the punch and the kick? I'm going to leave the shield on to hopefully test that and not forget that I have the shield equipped. We'll know the first time we punch an enemy. Moving back, we also have the third passive, which is your chance to hit vital hit points is doubled, which is massive. And that requires that I learn these last three skills, which means I can't go back to the job mastery and see what the, well, at least I can't pick up whatever the third upgrade is for fists. So I have to get these other two, and one of these passives I won't be able to activate. Honestly, the crit has better value for tougher enemies, like, well, the crit and stun resist. It's better for tougher enemies like alphas and whatever that other one was we fought as a brigand that had the more ornate skull, indicating its higher rank. Other than that, two-finger catch is really good. Having a chance to deny the enemy a free shot at you and then also deal damage to them? Yeah, that's just good. Anyway, that sums up everything we have and have done since I ended the previous episode. A little despondent. Oh, right. So, upon defeating the boss, there were a lot of drops. His minions also dropped interesting things as well. I didn't go over those because they weren't equipment, which means they have less than a 30% value of my interest. Now, I don't know where else. I'm pretty sure we go here. Yeah, probably there. There's also a cave over here. I don't know what the deal is with this. Fungal caves, okay. I don't know. But when we beat the boss, we picked up something that looked like a die. So we're going... I don't know how this is supposed to work. Number one, this is the first time I've seen something like this. I don't know what would happen if I were to actually select go to town. Can I go in here? No. So this is, well, this specifically isn't where the fight took place, but this is where it happened. Oh, right. We also have a javelin of acid and toxicity. I have used it. The only reason... This one's pretty interesting. So, the spear in itself pierces 25% of the target's resistance, right? Right. It also has a range of 2, so it hits enemies a little further away, a little earlier, right? Right. But, as part of its magical rarity, it gained some extra effects. One, we'll get out of the way right now, 6% chance to drop an acid pool while moving. Pair that with the other 2 pieces of equipment that have that same effect, and maybe, if they stack, you get an 18% chance to just poop acid while you walk. However, the more important ones, starting from the top, is the 50% chance to just ignore, block, and parry from the enemy, and bypassing 50% of the enemy's physical resistance. which in itself is a unique. It won't stack with anything else that shares the exact same wording. But I'm pretty sure that'll stack with the 25% pierce of the target's resistance. Though I have no idea how specifically it'll do that. I don't know if it'll be additive or multiplicative. Multiplicative in this particular case would be bad. But, you know, ultimately fine. I think that it results in, what, a 40% chance to bypass defense if it were multiplicative? But yeah, so it's got that going on, as well as the fact that the attack element is poison, which kind of sucks because, like I said earlier, alphas have elemental resistance for all of the base elements and poison. So you would just be doing less damage with it. But it does have an increased base power. So there's that. Right, so yeah, it works differently here for some reason. That's weird. I just spammed the space bar. So, like I said, the item we found was a cube that looked a lot like a black and red dye. That ancient cube I found is happy? Yes, it's excited to be back here. Little cube, I think you and I could be friends. Well, okay, yes, I understand you have a job to do. Let's go visit Mir and see what we can do. That's new. What's this? Path to Riverstone Waterway? Okay. Hello there, mysterious wanderer. Hello, explorer. Won't you sit with me and watch the flowing of the waters? A stream like this is but a child in the grand tapestry of the world. Each thread is its own journey, yes? I suddenly had a thought. Everyone's living inside of a tree. Where do they poop? Where do they pee? Obviously the bushes, but this camp is not that large. Moving on. You sound like you've been on a few adventures. Oh, yes. But I merely go where the rivers take me. You, on the other hand, you seem like one who forges their own path. You would rather swim against the current than drift aimlessly. Am I right? You're very wise for a fisherman. A soul as old as mine has seen forests grow from a single sapling to a mighty jungle. There's much I could tell you about the stories of this land, stories from far beyond Tangledeep. But you must fully immerse yourself in the story. As your mind journeys, so too can your body. Become open to new experiences, and an endless ocean of discovery awaits you. Okay, I think I understand. This is probably how you begin one of the DLCs. And I'm sure I have all of them. Fairly sure. So that's probably what's going on here. You've been beyond Tangledeep. What else is out there? I have only tales, explorer. I will tell you one if you are prepared to truly open your mind. If you hold any doubt, you cannot achieve true immersion, and I cannot take you on this journey. You may even find yourself without your equipment, skills, pets, or items. Are you ready to hear my tale? Well, no. Obviously. I'm still too soft and squishy. So let's frick. We have about 800 golds. I will buy the bandages in case we get hit with multiple instances of bleed after healing with the skill. Oh, right. By the way, if you didn't notice it, the effects for the level 5 flask upgrade, I got the one that increases defense and attack because, obviously. Brew of Rapidity. Greatly increases CT gain, 25 per turn for a brief time. This drink is a very good drink. Very good. It should have been more. Okay. So these are what I was talking about earlier, the Iron Claws. I don't know if it was this specifically that was magical or what, but I also don't know why this is red. None of the others are red, but this offers nothing unique, so it's just weird. I assume it's a bug or something. So they also have these I can't think of another name to call them. So they also have these Japanese style swords, and they basically function like the others do. Ooh, a tent. Tempted to buy it, but it's 500 gold. I won't do that. Anti-summon hand axe of frog slaying. Sure. Tell me more. Plus 30 damage to frogs. Deal more damage to summoned creatures. No. Short bow of stealth. No. Dirk of frost. No. Thanks for the offer, though. Probably should sell some of what we have. Sort by type. Orb of Reverie. This is one of the things we got from the enemies in the boss fight. As you can see, we got some stuff from the trees that we have growing as well. I don't know if you're supposed to keep these sorts of things or if you're supposed to sell them or if they can be used for something else. I don't know. So I'm afraid to sell them. I'm afraid to keep them. Oh, I also have found monster mallets while wandering around through the dungeons. And I also picked this up from somewhere. So we're going to be using that to get the wild child once we've gotten all of the other skills acquired. Yeah, I probably won't get the next weapon mastery for the fist. That'll probably be 1000 JP anyway. But I can sell... Why is this uncommon? That is weird. Moving on, I can get rid of these basic. I'll keep those. Get rid of that. One of those. You, those, and that's the rest of that stuff is fine. So now we have 841 gold, which leaves me super tempted to go for that tent, but I will resist for now. See what Cheeky Nando has. I'll definitely keep or buy that. I mean, that's pretty good damage. Blasts a 3x3 area with lightning bolts. Alright, you may have also seen that I have a bunch of these recipes. I've been finding these so often throughout each of the floors I've traveled. It's kind of crazy. I haven't done any of them, but, you know, we have them. Right, we need to go south. Just to see what we do with this item we got. And there it goes. Whoa! Mirai, what is it you have there? I can sense it. I can smell it. You brought back science! This hunk of metal might be the last piece, the key to 1,000 mysteries. The cube has feelings, you know. Yes, I'll ask the cube nicely. In you go, little friend. Right, connect here, twist here, orange wire to the red port, and just a little. Yes, it works. I am the best. Thank you, little cube. I hope you're happy. And so now this thing works. Behold, Mirai, the masterwork of the ancients, the Dreamcaster. Our lips are mere inches from the fizzling goblet of infinite knowledge. That's not where I thought that was going. That's a B problem, though. Sure, tell me a bit more about this. You already know what a magical place Tangledeep is. Flow weaves and winds everywhere, and the good touch infuses all of us who visit. But there's something deeper. Adventurers leave their mark on the items they carry, all the ups and downs, the victories and defeats. Each of them leave magical echoes in their trusty armor and weapons. Whether they sell the gear, lose it, or something worse, the item remains empowered with countless memories. Well, isn't that just incredible? Now, the Dreamcaster. I'm not entirely sure of how it works, but I do know that if we give it a weapon, armor, or accessory, and an orb of reverie, which I have at least one of, we can actually visit those memories inside the item. It's an item dream, a surreal world, a mishmash of all the places the item has been and the monsters it's seen. There's not often any rhyme or reason. A dream world, you say? Yes, but still very real and very dangerous. Inside the item dream, you'll find monsters, traps, and items just like in Tangledeep, but most importantly, you'll find a Memory King, a tough monster who can unlock the true power of the item. Defeat the Memory King, and your item will become stronger with increased power and even greater potential. Okay, that sounds great. Anything else I should know? The more powerful an item is, the longer and more dangerous the item dream will be. Some items are so powerful that they change and bend the world of their dream. The Dreamcaster will guide you in these matters. The rules change sometimes, so keep your eyes open. But remember, the danger is very real, and if you fall in reverie, your adventure is over. Well, frick. Oh, and go ahead and take that. May as well see how stuff over here has grown. Okay. Doesn't say what the tree's actually going to be, but leave me alone. Wish I had more spaces to plant things. Also, we still only have those two because I haven't found anything interesting elsewhere. Yeah, it looks... Okay, see, it has Pain Enhance, Explode, and Vital Bleed on it all at the same time. Okay, that's worth knowing. Okay. That's good. At least I know now that negative effects can stack, so it's worth stacking. Very good. Also, it looks like I can still do the kick, but the damage seems garbo. Maybe if we take off the shield? Yeah. So I can have a shield, and I have the... I'm assuming each hit you do... Nice. Each hit you do has a separate chance to inflict one of the vital status effects. So if I thought it was necessary, I could just equip a shield. We'd still be able to do the kick, and I'd have that extra layer of defense or, general survivability. I would need an Orb of Reverie, and I don't really care to use it on something that's garbage, just so I don't die. But hey, at least we have it now, right? I'm tempted to see what's going on there, but this is here, so... Oh, right, I needed to talk to the old lady. See if she had something new for us. Okay. Try Smashed Spine Bro. Defeat 2 Spine Bro using the power of physical. You only need to land the finishing blow with that element. Spine Bro can be found in many places, such as Cedar Caverns. Okay. So let's go. I know we've spent a lot of time talking about the other stuff we had going on, so because it's my off day, the episode's going to be a little longer. There is some other stuff I need to be doing, but I can take care of that later. Riverstone Waterway, Cedar Caverns, that's the one. Defeat Spine Bro. There you go. He has Explode on him. And then... Oh, yeah, sure, let's try this. Oh, he's dead now. You picked up Short Sword of Elemental Bolts. What effect is on us? Gains Condition Tornado Stance. Ah, Armor Break. But that's... Yeah, that's attack down, obviously. Well, he died anyway, so what good does it do him? Oh, hello there. Your health is still too high to capture. You're going to have to die. Because I use the skills for this job so frequently, I figure I have to actually pick up the power-ups that drop. Looking for Spine Bros. Aren't those the little things that shoot? Annoying little bastards. Oh, I was hoping... Oh, there's another alpha over here. Just common spectacles, not worth looking at then. So yeah, the Budoka's pretty strong. Which is it? 1. And now I just wait that out. See, adding points into Guile pays for itself whenever you parry, whenever you dodge. It's just good. Oh, and it also helps you crit, so it just keeps being, it's just a really good stat. Oh, Bull Rush. Pretty much anything I do is going to kill it. Yeah, like... I still see you. None of what you're doing is helping you. Oh, hold on. Make sure to pick that up. A hood that may or may not be magical quality. I'm looking for spine bros, but none of them spawn. Everything's on the left side. There's also an alpha down here. By the way, you can see from the XP and other values, fighting these enemies is not worth my time. Okay. But because these guys drop slightly better gear, I figure, why not, right? Yeah, we have to go up. And we have the armor with the increased chance of... Okay. So how about if I do this? Are you enjoying yourself? Anyway, we have the plus 5% chance for a magical item to appear. Look, I'm trying to capture you and make you a sex slave to my monsters, but you're making this really hard. I wish you wouldn't. Still no goddamn spine bros. Fine. So there are no spine bros currently spawned because the enemy's moving. Which means I have to kill everything in order for the spine bros to spawn. Oh, shouldn't have been there. Out of here. Oh, I have come across a couple of enemies. A couple of rumors that are really interesting. Because they result in you being... They don't require you to actually kill the enemy, but drop it a specific item. Which is interesting. I don't want to do this goddamn rumor. Because it requires a specific enemy to appear. And there are too many that can appear in this area that are pushing it down its chances of spawning. And it's annoying. I want to go to a new area now, but I can't because this goddamn rumor's got me running around in an old place I've been to. I mean, sure, I haven't been here in previous episodes because, well, I've been doing the exact same thing, running around. Bonk. Doing old quests or doing rumors in old areas. You know, right up until I died, anyway. Even though at that point, we weren't doing a rumor because, well, the rumor mill had run a little dry. So right now, we're doing a little monster genocide because mother fricker. God dang it, man. Come on. Ooh, perfect. It died. Dang it. It died from the vital hit that causes bleeding. I think we should just leave this one. Frankly, the reward itself is only 51 JP. It's not worth it. Frankly, I've gotten more JP just trying to get the goddamn thing to spawn than I actually get from the rumor itself. So, let's see. Rumor. See, and it's supposed to be... Give me something that's reasonable. Ultra laser drone. So, boss in the Riverstone Waterway, floor 5. I get Buckler of Familiars and some healing items. Now see, that's a reasonable rumor. Deal with that by going up here. Now, as you can plainly see, I've never been here. How about we fix that by going through all of the levels this area has to offer? The enemies aren't going to be worth it though, so no. Short bow of familiars. Oh, I have discovered secret areas as well, which is interesting. I was hoping it would. Okay. I know where I'm not wanted. Hi there. And it Explode inflicts... Not... It is rooted. That one inflicts rooted. Nah. Just a plain old spear. Come on. Get that before it disappears. Verdant Fat Tonic. That little hidey hole we were just in, that'd be a perfect place to retreat to if we're facing off against multiple enemies, or say a boss or an alpha that can summon. I did not know you could do that. There we go. And you don't want to deal with the summons and the boss. It said I found 72 gold and 75 gold. But when I picked them up, it was over 100. I'm racist against tree stumps. Got a club that may or may not be magical rarity. Ooh. Dang it. Perfect. Now, oh, I already tried. Remember I said I was going to try and enslave someone and then breed them with my monsters? That's just not possible. I tried it before. Oh, right. I also have 9 Choco Bars, which apparently give you a free turn and then another 50 charge time on top of that. I was thinking, like, you could just slam these back to back, but then I read that you can't eat more of this for 8 turns, so that idea sort of went out the window. And I stopped thinking about them at all. Instead, we are looking for the monster. Oh. I was going to type... I typed ham for hammer. Good enough. But it does work? I could have sworn I tried... I'm taking you home to sex my monsters. Oh, it's going to be glorious. You've got so many holes. They're going to love you. Let's see. Right. I'm going to look back on this thing in the future and not have any idea why I named it so many holes. You know what? Let's... There we go. Let's see how I have so many holes is doing. May as well buy another mallet while we're at it. He's miserable because he knows what's coming. Him and whatever monster ends up inside of him. He's also ugly as a motherfucker too. At 34 beauty. Do I have the capital to groom this guy? Yes. Yes, we do. Increases happiness. Okay, so that took him from miserable to unhappy. Got it. Didn't do much for his ugliness. It increased his beauty by 5. Sure. How much does that do for his... Okay, much better. I think it was at... It was 30-something. Just saw it. It was at 34, then it moved up to 39, right? So that would have been 8. Yeah, so his beauty started at 34, it went up by 5. Yeah, so that's not bad, I guess. He's fat, though. He's very fat. Come on, just walk. We took a lot of damage trying to capture that bastard. Looks like my groceries are about to arrive. Let's heal first. What are we doing in here? Alright, the champion. I don't see him yet. Yep, I don't see him. That's fine. I wonder if I can use a skill to destroy these. Honestly? No. Okay. Hold on. Alright, come and get it. No, I guess I misread and that was actually... I guess it was the font that threw me off. I'm talking about earlier when I picked up the gold off the ground and I thought it popped up as... Okay. Boom, I guess. This. Then... You want some too? Come on, I serve all comers. Seeds and Dirk of Conjuration. Still haven't found the Ultra Drone. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. And 5. Then Fort. Okay. Another Chalky Bar. Really? Okay. Regenerating Avenger, Cheerleader. I don't care. Pop. I'm just... Spirit-linked hide armor. I'm just... The first time, that caught me off guard. I didn't expect him to go... I didn't expect him to just slip through here and just disappear off the screen almost. You could have seen him up here, like right up here at the top, when I've knocked him away, and I just sat there stun-locked. But this area is not done yet, so let's keep looking through here. I wonder if there's an inside here that you could... Because there's an item called a shovel. I know, it's weird, never heard of it before. It's a strange thing where you can dig walls out, and the wall just goes away. It's sort of part of the old magic that we don't talk about anymore. Okay, but I'll have to find a way to destroy that. There's definitely... Where are we? Yeah, there's definite... Oh, there's a way in there, right through there. One. Wait. Then we punch you in the mouth. We'll take these. Should I capture another one with many holes? Never mind. He decided he would rather die. Is this the right... Yeah. Okay, there's another one. See, the issue with the shovel, cool as it is that it only lasts for one single use, and no one sells a lot of them. Okay. How about... Well, one's still on cooldown, so get away. That is so rude, and I absolutely love it. It is the best. Okay, so when those annoying things approach... I did not mean to cast that. There's that. Okay, we are in the right place. But... Hold on. Yeah. That's unfortunate. So there's possibly areas in between here. If I had a shovel, I could get in through there to check. I miss an area I can get to without a shovel? Yep. Hidden by... Well, now I'm just sad. There's another tree stump down there. There's nothing else of interest going on here. Also, we do need to return to pick up another rumor. Pulverized Crabbid. Defeat 3 Crabbid with the power of physical. Can be found in many places such as the Old Amber Station, 7th floor. I also can't change gear, but that's perfectly fine. Since I just don't have a reason to do so anyway. While I'm thinking about it, 880 or 822. Let's I know I said I wouldn't. But how much would it cost? 800? Third mastery is Fighting Spirit. As a passive skill, armed with this technique, you'll bolster your offense and defense. Defense with every punch you throw into my pocket. I know what I said. Don't judge me. Okay. Okay. Stairs. Let's back out. Our rumor is sending us to the old Amber Station, which we can only get to going down here. From here, we go this way. Away. I really do hate that you interact with things by force if they're in your path and you're walking into them. Day 20, whatever that's supposed to be about. Another one with many holes. Ah, I guess the days result in changes in the camp. We can go ahead and get rid of that. Oh, that's not particularly great. We get away from it? Oh, you sweet summer child. My enemy one moment? My monster's sex toy the next. I know. Okay. Howdy. Thought you'd like to know one of your trees is all grown up. You ever thought about turning some of the fruit for a profit? I could it for you. What? I missed that because I misclicked. Well, whatever. I've got a sex toy to install first. Go ahead, brought you a monster. I know exactly what his name is going to be. God dang it, that is annoying. Sloppy holes. He's beautiful. Anyway. God dang it. But I can't. Okay. Yep. Food carts, chili peppers. Okay, so how does this work? People around these parts need to eat. Tell you what's in demand, you give me that stuff, and I can sell it. Sure, you can put other food in there, and we'll still get more than Nando would pay. Of course, it doesn't happen right away. You gotta wait a few days. Okay. Market trends. I don't have cheese. I don't have Tangledeep curry. I do have a box of mints. How many of those? 4? Let me check my phone. Okay, the stuff hasn't arrived yet. The goods. Oh, hold on. We also have a cheese wheel. I don't know where that came from, but I know where it's going. Chili peppers, cheese wheel. Okay. I placed the monster's new sex toy in there. I did pick up some extra roses at some point, or rose petals. They're in storage now. Let's sell. Sort by type. And focus on equipment. Spear, club, short bow. One hide shield. We have a buckler. Better stats. Yeah, you can get rid of that. A fairy choker, wouldn't mind. Reduce random mobility cooldown. If it weren't for the fact that the stuff I have equipped just gives me things that are useful, I would keep it. And I would probably actually even put it on. It can go though. Chance to heal. Not very much HP when you get hit. So one of those. Keeping the gems in case we run into the guy that can turn them into accessories. Spear of Treasure, 5%. Ooh. You must keep the precious safe. Because this will stack with any other sources. And one is from the armor. Okay, that's good. Short sword of elemental bolts. I think we picked this up from the alpha monster. I think it was an alpha plunderer. When using a damaging elemental skill, a 33% chance to hit a random enemy for 75% of your spirit power. For the same element you last used. God, just seeing elemental bolts reminds me of Ragnarok Online and the Sage class. God, the Sage class was good. I mean, it was at least, fun. If you could get enough dexterity to actually instacast, or nearly instacast, it would just make it that much better. Trying to consider stuff to sell that's above common rarity. Yeah, that could go. Spirit Linked, a 10% chance to restore energy when hit. How much are we talking about? Because that's a low chance for you to gain a low amount of energy. Now, if it were to say when you're attacked, that could have value because then it would apply then it would trigger even if you're parrying an attack or dodging at the attack, but you have to get hit. Not as good. I'll leave it for now, but not as good. Stacks of rose petals. What do you have, cheeky Nando? Ooh, chili peppers and 2 cheese wheels. I wonder if I could actually make my money back. I'll take that banana. You know what? I do have quite a bit of food. Let's turn some frowns upside down, shall we? New monsters. That's not what I wanted to do. Feed. I've come to fatten you up. I only want to use things I have a lot of. It was okay. Fine cheese. It was okay. That's probably a quarter increase. I think it liked that? Yeah, it loves bananas. Alright. I've got plenty of bananas. Come on. Just keep shoving Bruce Bananans in there. Alright. Discontent, huh? It's also getting fat. Disgusting. Also, somehow this thing is at 99? I'm pretty sure it was not at 99 when we first got it. I don't know how that happened. More Bruce Bannons. And yes, I know these are supposed to be for my continued survival. But see, if I need to get away from a particularly annoying enemy, I have palm thrust and then flying kick to get away from it. See, I can send it to the moon, and then I can go and fly to Saturn. It's a flawless plan. Hey, well, so many holes is plain now. Not, at least he's not ugly. You don't want your monsters dumping their loads in an ugly human. Come on. Oh, sloppy holes is repulsive. Wouldn't it be crazy if the name was contributing to the beauty? Let's see if we can find what this idiot likes. It was only okay, huh? It loves Bruce Bannons too, but I don't have any means to acquire more of them. This saddens me. But at least we have that. chance. You like bannons too? Why does everyone love bannons? Why not carrots? It's okay. It hates fat pumpkins. Alright, that's it for all of that business. Let's get back to fisting things. Find and punish a crabbid. No, see, that's got we all float down here energy that I just don't feel like dealing with. Buy some jewelry. It would look great on you. Listen. Maybe. Night Ring, shadow damage increase, and increases your shadow resistance. I am in tune with Umbra. We wait together with the secrets of shadow and terror of void. Ooh, spooky. Shock Ring. Basically the same thing. Sure Strike, which increases crit chance. We saw that last episode. Topaz Earrings, which are red for some reason. I don't have another one to compare them against. That's 67% lightning resistance. But I don't have the money for it. I could. I wonder if it's red because it has better stats than it normally would, which is weird because it's common rarity. Mana Seeker's Ring of Cleverness. You know how in the Fate series, how you transfer mana, let's say? Yeah, I thought this was a cock ring. Frankly, it is if it's in the Fate universe. Ooh, it provides 10 guile. If I relax, I can feel the humming in this ring. It pulls me ever so gently toward hidden pockets of flow. Find only energy power-ups. Interesting. Shock Ring of Explosions. So, the Shock Ring of Art. 30% weapon damage as physical. Using an item causes an explosion, dealing 30% of your weapon damage as physical damage to adjacent enemies. And it's just using an item. That probably includes using the flask, though that's a probably. Still, basically you deal a good bit of damage just for like healing and using other stuff. That's pretty good. I do like the flat guaranteed crit chance on top of whatever's provided by the extra 10 guile. What are the guile we're getting is on shoes, so it's on the running shoes, right? That's another maybe. I mean, maybe I'll purchase it. Sort of, maybe not. Maybe I'm correct. Moving on, we have the glowing holy symbol of foraging and stealth. Neither of those are useful to me, but it does have a +6 to core stats. Unfortunately, for its rarity, it does not gain any increase to the chance to heal or how much, or the way the healing scales, which sucks. Hungry, tireless, holy symbol of treasures. I like the sound of this a lot better, and it's really cheap. 5% extra magic item chance, some extra stamina, and recover from feeling full 1 turn faster, and +6 to your core stats, which sort of makes up for, I'm guessing, half of the strength we stand to lose if we replace the hood. And then we just have a chance to occasionally heal a teeny tiny insignificant amount. Spiritual Flame Ring of Familiars. Not particularly useful. Crystal Ring is red, +8 to your core stats. It's part of a gear set, the crystalline armament. 33% chance to negate crits. I can just turn those off if I were to buy a skill. Or, yeah, buy a skill for this particular job. That's not particularly interesting. But there's a 5% block chance as well. 2-piece bonus when attacked. Okay, so this is part of a set that only has oh, never mind, it has a 3-piece bonus. So, for the 2-piece bonus when you're attacked, there's a chance to create a crystal barrier that absorbs damage. I like this already. For the 3-piece bonus, your runic crystal resonates, causing... None of that means anything to me. Oh, it's also 5,000 gold, or 6,000 gold. So, yeah, we're never seeing that one again. So, honestly, I'm tempted. Well, I can't get this. Otherwise, I would, because that 67% lightning resistance is massive. Sure, strike ring. I like this one. We're taking it. This one isn't useful. I like this. I guess we can try this and then the other holy symbol we just bought. Not together, but we can test them in the same slot and see how they feel. That's weird phrasing, I know, but I don't know if I really cared. I don't have that much gold storage though. So I could probably just come back. This guy will probably appear in town now, or in camp. do like the crit chance, so we'll go with that. Let's see. I can replace the running shoes because what it does is not particularly useful. Weapon power 215 special? What does that mean? Why special? What is that? Wait. Wait. Hold on. Wait, so now I know that the kick damage is severely reduced if we have a weapon or if we have something equipped in the offhand, but maybe? Anyway, main point is let's try this out for a little bit. See how it tastes, roll it over our tongue a little bit. It sounded better in my head. Okay, so let's see how many hits we do. Okay. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, right, by the way, I learned, thanks to a pop-up, once you're past 25 uses of the healing flask, you only get one when you visit the things that restore you or grant extra uses. That's awful kind, don't you think? Die. Oh, right, we picked up that passive from... rope strap. Okay. May as well, right? I think he died from something. He's defeated. No idea how, but he's dead now. All according to plan. I promise. Tired of putting your life on the line exploring monster-infested caves? Put your money on the line instead at the one and only casino, where the good times never end, unless you go broke. Do you have what it takes to beat the house at the sharp jack table? Or would you rather pull the lever of destiny and hit the jackpot on the slots? Perhaps you're a true risk taker, brave enough to bet your fate on the roll of the dice? If you're nodding your head, then what are you waiting for? Come on down! What if I don't? I probably will, though. My monsters will have their new sex toy. You okay? You just... Okay. I choose to take offense. I prefer you stay at a distance. Just heal. There we go. You don't want to do that. I'm trying to help you here. You don't want to do that. Okay, now see. God dang it. All I wanted was a toy for my monsters. Granted, we're not at the point yet where we can make them use their toys, so to speak. Choco Bar paid for itself. Well, not really. It just replaced the one we fed to the whatever monster. I think it was the eyeball. Hey there. Won't run. Ah. There's an alpha, but we're not really getting any value out of fighting things down here. Hate that. Hey there. 72 and 42 as normal damage. Now, if we're to take off... See, now we have something that won't just die when we hit it. So let's see how this serves. We're in a poison cloud. See? Okay. It did... 168. The only reason I haven't killed it already, we could have killed it so much sooner if we had used our skills, but the only reason is because I'm testing our damage. For 122, just... No, there wasn't... Could it have been one of the vital hits? I have no idea. Oh, it's him again. Ah. Leave me alone. We're not bleeding. But, out of here, rat. Come on. Ooh. I see you there. Let's make sure we don't die, right? I made a mistake. But they seem to spawn here frequently, so... Yeah, I think my monsters are going to like those guys. What the... Oh, that's the guy. Stairs up or there. Oh, I think we made a mistake. God dang it. I'm an idiot. Wasn't the rumor we were trying to do here based around didn't have a restriction where we couldn't change our weapon. And I literally just go into my inventory and brain off just equip something else. So now okay. I can do that. What? What is a combo? What? What does that mean? Anyway, we need to go back to town now because we no longer have a real reason to be here. Now, took a while, and I'll spend some money to get us fully healed while I'm at it. Okay, so what's our new rumor? Prehistoric Goliath beetle in the old Amber Station, 7th floor. Very small amount of JP, but I'll take it. Can I get something else, too? Sure, that's great. Capture a wild, untamed Panthox. It's prowling in the old Amber Station, floor 8, with its pack. I get a Fencer's Battle Axe. Okay. What else? Try a Bruised Laser Drone. Cedar Caverns. I'll take it, but I probably won't do that this episode. So let's see. Okay. How much money do we have? Only 1,400. Oh, hey there. Back off. I'm not ready for you yet. I can do that too. See, that's unfortunate. But it's fine. We can do it this way. Booyah. Killed them both. Oh, no, I didn't. Hey there. Why aren't you screaming for help? Come on, little guy. Be brave. Bubble hide armor? Explain. I'm going to avoid equipping anything. At less than or equal to 50% HP, gain a shield absorbing level times 30 damage. We're currently level 7 because nothing gives us XP. It lasts 20 turns with a 50 turn cooldown. Okay, I guess. Also, I'm not noticing any healing from this thing, but I might also just not be noticing. Also, the fact that this has 5% magic item chance on it kind of makes me want to keep it. Keep it equipped, specifically. We are up here. Accidentally ran into 2 alphas at the same time. The worst possible time. Hi there. Oh, that is... I'm actually going to do this. Then this. And then, the frick out of here. While he spends his time walking back here. What if I just... bang. Orb of Reverie. Okay, but I can do this. That's right. You're an idiot. First, bang. You know how this ends, right? Punch you in the gut. Oh, 2 hits. Got it. He's dead now. A decent amount of XP, but it could be better. Boost crit chance, parry chance. Yeah. No. I can literally just walk around it. Studied fast, bananas, more orbs of reverie. Neat. There's another alpha this side. Ooh, we need to capture you. What? I don't need 2 of you. Get the frick out of here. I just healed for 5 from the holy... What? Symbol. That's right. Ah. Bleeding. God dang it. Five. Then, get away from me. Did we... Yeah. So we inflicted... That's why it said combo. So I get that now. Because it had pain enhanced, it has... It's confused. You don't get how angry I am right now. But now you know. You see... Oh, that's not great. Step off. Then, we don't have the juice for it. Perfect. He's not bleeding. To be here. Oh, don't you run, baby. His anus can tell what's about to happen. I need that. And then put some ham on it, and then we bop it on the head. What do we call this guy? I know exactly what his name is going to be. Brought everyone a new toy. His name is Anal. Come on. That is extremely annoying. Anal chemistry. Yeah, anal chemistry. Since we're here, I don't know how much gold we have, but it won't be enough to... No. How much do you require to expand storage again? Because I bought the first upgrade. 4,000. Okay, that is a racket. That is an actual racket he's running. We don't have enough JP to do anything. Well, that's not true, but I'm only thinking in... God dang it, they're everywhere here. I like it. I wish I could find somewhere to buy some goddamn shovels. Then I could just make pathways. But that was an accident. I was actually going to attack it. Oh, cool. That's not a me problem, though. That has to be extremely frustrating for him. You know... The Choco Bar isn't going to go anywhere. So... This... Okay, it's just... And then that... Easy. Okay, so what is our next rumor? Wild Untamed in the next floor. That is... Oh. What? That's 8. To Beast Lake Park? It doesn't have a floor, so it's a unique area. Alright, so what do we have going on here exactly? It's the Monster Rancher. So, let's see. This here valley is full of tame monsters. They're all free range and peaceful. Say, if you're raising your own monsters in Riverstone, I've got some supplies you might like. Also, there's a particular monster I've been looking to add to my ranch here. Maybe you could help me out? Well, let's see what you have to offer first. That's just cheaper. It's just a really good heavy monster egg. Critter inside is... Random powerful monster. I mean, it's tempting, right? I can always come back. So what are you looking for? A bandit. As I'm all muddled up and confused. But they ain't people like you and me. They're critters just like any other monster. They're people, and And they're sex slaves for my monsters back at the... Yeah, back at the ranch. Alright. Ooh, while I'm here... Oh, that would be so worth getting. But I can't attack them. I'm really glad I can't attack them, because that would be super awkward to have to explain myself. Or not, I could just kill the monster rancher too. Probably. Anyway. Who knows, he might end up being a final boss. So how many do we have here? Most of them are up here where we are. I don't care. Justified. Sucks to suck, Chuck. Mother... That's actually extremely annoying. That's the second time I opened one I didn't intend to. Now, if anything's going to get me killed, it's that. And it begins already. Oh, great. Hey, do me a favor. Move. Could you stop that? God, I wish I had the... whatchamacallit. The brigand's ability to let you swap positions with the target. Oh, before we do anything, let's double up on healing. Sure. Fight wasn't even worth it. Let's see if this one... Step off. Okay. Yeah. Arrow dampening raiment. Let me check my rumors. Nothing about me being unable to... Nothing about me being unable to swap weapons, or equipment anyway. Oh, right. I'm supposed to be trying to capture one of the... Which one did he say it was? Hide armor of bone crabs. Ooh, I think... maybe? That's actually super sad. Nope. Okay. Mighty grain shade. That's a tree that produces grain. No, I already captured one. That's right. I don't need to capture those anymore. That's great. That's just great. Let's head down, see if... Is it this one you wanted? I don't remember. You're at 15. That's perfect. Really quick, let me hit you over the head like we're cave people. Modern solutions, right? South. I'd have to jam this guy up. I got something. You wrangled a bandit for me. I'll make sure they get lots of love and care here in the park. I better not come back here and hear Marvin Gaye playing. That's my thing. I suppose I owe you one, don't I? Well, how about this? I'll show you a secret technique for knocking out monsters with 20% health instead of 15%. What do you say? I say yes, please. Oh, I just... Dang, those are 400? I will actually take that monster chow. And those, why not? See, if I were to use this, though, it would upset me because I wouldn't be able to capture things anymore. Also, losing 1,400 gold is kind of a wrinkle as well. You need 4,200 in order to expand the inventory 5 slots. That is extortion. Of course, the storage is probably full of stuff that is common rarity. So we could stand to replace that stuff. What do you want to say to your pet saboteur? Wrangle the bandit. Okay, there we go. So I right-clicked to continue it, and that actually ended the interaction. But now, instead I hit enter, and we were able to continue. Don't have too much anal sex. That advice, it sounded better as advice in my head. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go. Okay, so now we can capture monsters at 20% health rather than, there's an alpha up there, rather than at 15. That was the original. Before we go, bastard spawned a poison cloud under us, by the way. Give me this sweet heal. Let me make a name. Scourge Base. Bass is terrorizing this. Oh, that is greedy wooden crossbow. Not bad. I know what it'll do thanks to that, but Cheeky Nando's got something for us. We stand to make more money if we do. We'll head this way, see if we can sham that mighty grain shade. Oh, wait, what? A tree gave me milk. Okay. Sure, why not? Love to move over here. Profit earned 81 gold from the sale of 2 food items. And wow. Oh yeah, I bought those for this exact reason, didn't I? Okay, I do like making passive money. We're healed. Let's go ahead. Alright. Let's deal with this doofus and then I guess we'll end the episode. Frost ring. Utterly worthless. Alright. The way to the next floor is south. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us today. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and, well, at least some of what you've seen here today. I know it sucks that we lost the brigand last episode, but there's not much I can do about that. If I had stopped to save, even at any point, I might have considered save scumming, but that's just not, that just wasn't an option. So what could I do but, okay, you fill your flask, that's pretty decent. But what else could I do but continue on with a new class, or a new job, more accurately. Still, I like the job. We have 1,100. It's a constant issue where I'm going to save something for JP, but it's going to come out wrong. This time at least I caught it. And Giuliando has new goods in stock. Is he still down here? I really wish I had some shovels. I don't have money though, so there's that. Anyway, this was supposed to be the outro of it, and this seems like a perfectly safe place to stop. So, there will be another episode tomorrow, as there... Will there? I don't... When does this go up? This doesn't go up this week, does it? It might? No, I've got another episode for tomorrow. That I just have to... No, that's already rendered. So I just have to upload it. So this probably goes up next week? Surely not, right? No, I missed Monday. Right, so that means this goes up Saturday. Okay, yeah. So there will be a new episode next week. I actually have to check out GeForce Now after I'm done with this, just to see. Actually, I'm going to go back down, check the guy's stock. Cause myself depression for sure, because I don't have the money, but what can you do? I like loot. And so, like I said, there will be another episode next week, and I don't know, well, for the most part, the idea is that we're going to be taking care of the rumors and just exploring further, trying not to die, for sure, and hopefully accruing enough XP to actually... The next level is supposed... Well, the maximum level is supposed to be 20. I think it was originally 15, and one of the DLC increases the cap. I mean, since we're here, let's see what the guy has, right? Obsidian Band. Reduce energy cost by 20%, but all skills cost extra stamina. That's pretty good. I guess they're red because we can't afford them. Hydrating Shock Ring of Muscle and the Wolf. I mean, are there any words they left out? Oh, this is actually really good. I mean, the lightning damage doesn't... Actually, the chi wave does do lightning damage. Yeah, we get this, without question. Flask heals more over time, and you get +6 core stats, as well as strength. Oh, and you deal 6% extra damage and have 2% extra defense if you have no summoned creatures. Yes? Lucky Charm Circlet. On hit, a chance to charm. They don't really last very long when I'm hitting them, so... Also, it doesn't really do anything else. Incorruptible. It's poison resistance, which I would actually like. The thing we have on grants magic item chance, though, so that's kind of too good to just pass up. Venom Ring, more poison damage. Nothing else of value. Got it. Alright, and so that's going to have to do it. I would love to record another episode right after this, but I don't really have the time for that, to be perfectly honest. So, with all that said, we will see you next time.